getting evicted, to be honest, out of my house because, like I said, the business had declined. All of my streams of income had went down. So it's like my third or fourth time attempting to record this video. Anywho, so as you can see by the title, I am going to be telling y'all the story, some of it, not all of it, about how I ended up moving to San Antonio, Texas by myself with $45. Like, I literally just packed up whatever I could fit into my little Honda Accord and I left. If you are coming over here from my other channel, that I just cannot believe it has 92,000 subscribers on that channel. Like, I haven't even posted on there. And it ended up, like, the last time I posted on it, I think it maybe had got to like 60 or 70,000, but now it's at like 92,000. But I decided to start over because that's just not my life anymore. So that's why I am over here on a new channel. I'm going to post the link to this video on that channel. So if you are coming over here from that channel, hey boo, I know you ain't seen me in a minute. I'm good. But I can honestly say that it has taken me a long, long time to get to this place. 2024 was probably the worst year of my entire existence. I was going through a lot, a lot. I was going through a lot physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And speaking of spiritually, honey, y'all know how they say that the millennials are going through spiritual warfare right now. And baby, when I say I feel like I got the brunt of it. I feel like I was put on the front line. When people say, God got his strongest soldiers and he give his battles to his, I felt like he recruited me into the army and he didn't even tell me. I didn't even know. But anywho, so um I lost everything. If you are new here, hey, my name is Brooke. It's actually Brooke-Ebonie, but I prefer to just be called Brooke because people act like they can't pronounce Brooke-Ebonie, and it irritates my soul. So I just tell people to just call me Brooke. Brooke-Ebonie is my whole entire first name. But yeah, if you're new here, I had a waxing business. That's what that last channel mainly was about. It was about my family, about me growing that business, about me quitting nursing and never going back. I'm an LPN. And it's so true when they say if you tell God your plans, he'll laugh at you, because that's exactly what ended up happening. So I'm not going to go into the gist of every single thing. If you over here from the other channel, I know that you want the juicy details. And I'm not going to talk about it right now, not because I don't want y'all to know, but because I am not able to talk about all of it without getting emotional and getting mad and cussing and crying and all of that stuff. And I don't want to do that on the internet. Not yet, anyways. I ain't gonna say that I never will. We are all humans. We all have emotions. But I have not got myself to a place where I can talk about every detail of it. And I probably never will talk about every single detail, but I'll get myself to a place where I can tell y'all some parts of it. But yeah, so I ended up losing everything. And when I say I was holding on tight, it was like I could tell, I didn't know at first, but I could tell that I was going through some spiritual warfare because the business had declined tremendously. Um, my YouTube channel had some copyright strikes or whatever, and so I wasn't even making as much from that as I was at first. And I know it was spiritual warfare for the simple fact that once I started actually protecting myself spiritually, I got the monetization back from that channel. It's so crazy. But everything was just falling apart. All of my streams of income were being hit left and right, left and right, left and right. And so I started trying to build new streams of income, and they were barely working. And so I ended up not being able to afford all of the expenses that I had accrued when everything was good. So When I say I was holding on, like I would end up having to move from one wax studio to another and then move from that one to another one. And y'all, I was holding on. It never even crossed my mind to just get up and leave. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I used to literally be like, it's Little Rock or nothing. Like that was my mindset. Like I was fixed on it's Little Rock or nothing. Like I did not want to leave. I didn't want to let go of the life that I had built. It took me so long to build it. I had that business for 8 years. But anyway, so after I ended up losing that last wax studio, it was like, you know what? I was getting evicted, to be honest, out of my house because like I said, the business had declined. All of my streams of income had went down. And so it was like, I don't have anything. Like I literally was having to ask for help just to get groceries for my house, for my kids. So it was just like, I don't have no, I'm not going back to my mom's house. We have our little issues. So, like I said, I didn't want to go back to my mom's because I had just moved out of her house probably like 6, 7 months prior, maybe a year prior to that. So it was like every time I would get back up on my feet, I would fall, I would get back up, I would get knocked back down again. And at that time, I ended up finding some things out. And so I had, my little issues with my mom. And so I just did not want to go back there. Like, I'm grown, I'm 37 years old. Like, it was like, I can't keep doing the same thing. Obviously, I need to pivot. If every time I get knocked down, I get back up and do the same thing and get knocked down again, I need to pivot a little bit harder than what I was pivoting at first. And I really didn't have a choice. Sometimes God will put you in a position to where you do not have a choice but to move. I still have my LPN license, thank God, even though I just the nursing field, the medical field, period. Oh, we're not even gonna we're just gonna skip that conversation altogether. But I am grateful and thankful that I do still have my nursing license, and I had them at the time. But at that point, I got my nursing license in 2009, so I have worked at just about every nursing home in Little Rock or in the surrounding areas, and I no. What I've noticed about Little Rock is that people there are stuck in a time loop. They are living the same life year after year after year, and they feel like everybody around them is in the same place that they were when they knew them years ago. And that was not the case for me. Oh, I covered up my mic, honey. That was not the case for me. So I felt like people were still treating me like I was the girl that they met when I was a 21-year-old nurse. And plus, the nursing homes there have declined back then, even like in 2011, 2012. I think they was like number 3 on the list of the worst nursing homes in the United States. So it had declined really bad. I worked a few shifts with the nursing agency that I signed up for there, just to get groceries and gas and stuff. And I just could not do it. So once I ended up getting that last little eviction notice, and they pretty much was like, you got 3 days to get out of here. I did not have any help. Nobody around me was helping. Nobody helped me move. Nobody, they was helping with groceries or maybe a little gas here and there. But as far as actually moving, if you came from the other channel, then you know that my husband had ended up, my ex-husband, yes, ex-husband, he ended up getting locked up. So I had no help. So it was like I moved twice, I think, with no help, like literally no help, just me until I couldn't take it anymore and hired a moving company. So it was like, I'm not going to keep doing this. So what I ended up doing was I prayed about it. I prayed about it. I cried about it. I hollered about it. I screamed about it because I felt like I was doing everything right. I don't mess with nobody. I don't bother nobody. I don't do people wrong. I'm not around here running scams. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I was in a place where I was conflicted because it was like, why is all of this happening to me when I know I'm not doing anything in a way to where I deserve, these types of things to happen. So I was just praying and hollering and crying. And it was, I was convicted, honey. I was so angry and upset. I got some other little content out about it. I got a blog out. I got all types of, check the links in the description if y'all want to see that, because I don't want, I'm starting to get a little emotional. But all answers pointed to getting away from Arkansas. And I was scared. I was so scared to do that. And one day, some things had happened, and I ended up contacting an old friend that had ran across my mind. And he is the one that told me that he had left and went to San Antonio for like a year or however long he did. And he was telling me that, it was a good atmosphere, it was a family atmosphere. It was just different. So I just thought in my mind, like, why not? Like, I don't have nowhere to go here. I don't have anybody that I can stay with. Nobody is helping me move my furniture, anything. So why not? Y'all, I didn't even move the furniture out the house. I just left. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I had my issues with my mom. If you're from the other channel, then she don't play about them grandbabies, honey. So I didn't have to worry about the kids. So don't take this story as advice. Do not take this story as advice, because even though I was going through all of that, I am still very blessed. So I have 4 children, but I did not have to worry about them. And plus, I didn't want to move them across state lines. In the school was just starting. This happened in August, late July, early August last year. So I didn't have to worry about that. It don't matter how much me and her don't talk or how much we get into it or whatever. She gonna always have them kids. Like, I don't have to worry, and that's a blessing. I'm definitely blessed in that department. So I was able to transition the kids over there, and I just left. And when I got here, now the first time I think I worked like a shift. So I signed up with the nursing agency. Y'all know they got them on app. Well, you don't know if you're not a nurse, but they have these nursing agency apps now. So you can just go on there, you upload all your little nursing info and stuff. And so the phone cut off. And it's been doing that a lot lately. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm overloading it with all the content that I have been making, or if you know some people just mad that I have decided to finally get back in front of the camera. But anyways, so after talking to him, and he was telling me, the atmosphere and everything about San Antonio and how it was out here or whatever, I decided that I didn't have a choice. So I'm gonna just pick up a shift. They didn't even have any on the app in Little Rock, so I ended up having to pick up one in Hot Springs, which is 30 minutes away from Little Rock. And the way it works with the nursing agency apps is you have um, you have shifts that you can bid on. You work the shift, and then you get paid 10 to 15 minutes after you work the shift. And that ain't free. You got to pay like $4. I don't like fees, y'all, but you got to pay like $4 to be able to get instant pay. So I ended up doing that. I picked up a shift in Hot Springs, because at this point, normally, because I was small minded too when I was in Little Rock. So 30 minutes away, I would never, like, I don't know, drive 30 minutes away to work a shift. But at that point, I didn't have a choice. Like, it was like, you gonna do it. And so that's what I did. I drove 30 minutes away. I worked that shift. I got that money, and I came out here to San Antonio. And so I stayed out here, and y'all, when I say it was so much better. I don't know, maybe people that's from here maybe not, maybe don't think that, but the atmosphere, just the change of environment, you just don't know how much a change of environment can help when it comes to mindset and depression and all of that. And then plus, the medical field still ain't shit, but it's definitely better here. It is definitely better here. So I was able to pick up a few shifts out here, to get by while I was out here. But y'all, I'm not going to make it seem like it was just a walk in the park, because it was not. I ended up having to go back to Little Rock because I needed to handle some business. And plus, I had to still get my furniture and all my stuff out of my old house. And thank God for that landlord. He was nice enough to pay for a moving service, because at that point, y'all, I was so tired of moving all my stuff by myself. I was really trying to do that too. And I had a lot of stuff. Like they say, you never know how much stuff you have until you move. But he was nice enough to pay for a moving service so I can get all of that stuff out of the house. And plus, I had to handle some other business that I still can't talk about without getting emotional. So I ain't going to talk about it. But that drained my little pockets, honey. Going back to Little Rock and having to do what I had to do there, that my little pockets, I had went down to, all I had left was $45. So that really triggered my little depression and my little hollering, screaming, and crying and praying episodes again because I only had $45. And it was like, I definitely can't stay in Little Rock now. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have nothing left out here. So I definitely cannot stay. So, and I just was not about to work. After working shifts in Texas, I was not about to work none in Arkansas. It just was not happening. It was like, oh, no, baby. And so what I did was I took that $40, I put $40 in my tank, and I used $5 to eat. And I got to Dallas on $40 worth of gas. And it just so happened that I was able to find a shift on the nursing app when I got to Dallas. And so, and y'all, I ended up having to like sleep in my car that night. Like when I made it to Dallas, I had to sleep in my car that night. And I probably had to sleep in my car like a few more nights once I finally made it to, did I? I can't remember. I know somewhere in the story, y'all, I ended up having, like, I had all my stuff packed in my car, what I could fit. Like it was like 4 or 5 different suitcases and maybe a few other things in the trunk. Like what I could fit in my car is what was in my car. And I couldn't even put the seat back enough to even lay back to sleep. Like I said, it was not a walk in the park, but it was just me and God and all my little suitcases, honey, for like 4 or 5 days. And that is really just the gist of how I ended up out here in San Antonio with $45. Like, so that's just a quick little story time just to get everybody caught up with what's going on. Um, I'm definitely going to only be posting over here on this channel from now on. I didn't even post over there. I'm gonna put the link over there though. But that's the story. I really just had this big intense fear of getting back in front of the camera and rebuilding another YouTube. I don't even know why. That's the main reason why I'm even doing this story time video, to be honest. Like it was a fear that I was like, okay, look, it's time. Like you got your emotions in check. It's time. Like let's just go, because I hate nursing. Like I hate nursing. I'm a content creator. That's what I do. So that's what I'm gonna do. But if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the links in the description box if you want to get further, or, a little bit deeper into the story, because I ain't go too deep. But if you want to get a little bit deeper into the story or whatever, and subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And I will catch y'all in the next video.